trust your crypto assets to centralized exchanges that actively sell your private information and front-run your trades? Would you like to buy and sell your assets without any middlemen, intermediaries, or robots? Do you like paying slippage, fees, and having the price go up as bots steal from you on low-liquidity decentralized exchanges? The solution is NodeMarket.io. Set your guaranteed buy or sell price. No middlemen, no slippage, no bots, ever. Buy or sell 1, 10, or even 10 million tokens, and you never have to worry. OTC trades are between you and the seller or buyer, guaranteed by audited smart contracts and no human middlemen. NodeMarket.io.
Okay, we should be good now. Yay. So the thumbnail. So when OpenAI, they basically melted DALL-E 3 into Chat GPT-4. So if you guys go now for image creation, you just do it right inside 4.5, I think. Well, you can do it inside 4 or 4.5, but whatever. Anyway, and it's kind of weird how it does it. Like, let's say you give it a prompt for something that might be that it can't do. Like I did the Jack Nicholson Joker sitting at a table with the Heath Ledger Joker, and they're playing Russian roulette. It drew 3/4 of the picture. I mean, it did the picture, and then instead it wouldn't release it to me. It blocked it and said, "Oh, this content's restricted." Like, you son of a bitch. Anyway, but the new image generation is kind of cool. It shows you the picture. It's murky at first, and then it cleans it up. Which, whatever. And it doesn't split test. Like, it doesn't give you an A and a B like it used to. It just gives you what what your prompt is, and then you can adjust the prompt. So for this thumbnail, I kind of described the old thumbnail, and then just instead of having Brandon and I was just like, put some robots on it. And yeah, so I got the robots. They're kind of creepy. They're cool. They're creepy as hell though. Let's see what else going on. I went to a well, let's see. My record was 5-0. I never lost a fight. It was 5-0. It was 4 wins by triangle choke and 1 win by punches. I mounted a guy and just kept hitting him, and he just whatever. And actually, he rolled over. Wait, did he go? Yeah. He just covered up. And the ref stopped it. Yeah. So that was that. So I went over to David Ribeiro's house yesterday. He does these talks. They're called monetized talks that he does at his house once a month. And it's pretty cool. A bunch of people go there, and different people talk about, how they entrepreneured, and they all give, a couple of tips or whatever. There was a really interesting one. Well, there was a couple, but the one that was most interesting, I thought, was there was a lady who she was in marketing and branding. She was part of the team that transitioned Facebook into Meta, made that whole transition between branding, and her message was really cool. It was basically like when you're branding one of your products, well, if you're branding, you have to decide your brand is basically the way people perceive who you are and what you do, right? Like that's it. But a lot of times that gets all sloppy. And what she was contending is you can either be a what brand, like she compared Nike to Adidas. Adidas is all about what? It's the shoe, it's cool, it's badass. Look at all these cool features and squishy bits and stuff like that, and makes your foot feel so good. You can, yeah. And then whereas Nike is more of a who type brand. It's more sentimental. You make this connection with it. It's not as much about the product as it is about kind of this feeling that they're with you in the journey. Like, you're running and it's 3 a.m. and it's raining and it's just you and your wet Nikes. And, at every street light Nike's there, like cheering you on, like that kind of thing. So that's a who brand versus the what brand, which is Adidas. And they're like, look at this cool shoe. It's badass. It'll make you run really fast. And it's got like ninja reflexes built into the polymer. And you're like, cool. And what she was saying about that is that what brands, and this applies to everybody here that's, doing anything. God, they are tearing shit apart. Loki. He just finds stuff that he can, and he's at a point now where he can bite through most things. He hasn't gotten through metal yet, but he can get through anything plastic, anything wood, anything that's not metal. Anyway, so but her contention with what brands was like, if you sell something that's a thing, and you're competing with other things and other whats, that you're always on the defensive. Meaning that if someone else has a what product that's just a little bit better than yours, or priced more comfortably, or packaged a little bit better, then you're going to get beat. And so ideally, you would want to transition your brand, your whatever it is that you're selling, your what, you need to transition that messaging over to a who brand. I think that's what she was trying to say. As far as I understand it. And yeah, but anyway, just do it. Yeah. Like Nike is a who brand. Nike is, they care about your success, even at the individual level. I don't think you could probably say that about Adidas. Although what was funny is there was she showed an Adidas commercial and she showed a Nike commercial, and then they showed the shoe, the Adidas shoe that they were like building, and it was like, oh yeah, that's the shoe that I have. So it's the one I'll show you. It's this one, which is the best shoe ever. This is the Cloud White. This is for pimps. If you want to be a pimp, you get off the Cloud White, which is like the off-white. It's impossible to get, but if you can get one, good for you. But anyway, and it was like this piece for the heels and the knitted shit and all this kind of, and the torsion control stuff. Anyway, and it was like woo, woo, woo. But that's a what brand, right? Whereas, no one at Adidas gives a shit if you finish the race. But like in professional football, like soccer or something like that, it's pretty much only Adidas. There's a couple other, but it's basically Adidas, and then a couple of randos. So it's like, yeah. Yeah. So it's like, there you go. But yeah, Nike shoes are crap. Like their standards are garbage. They spend like $4 on them in China, but whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, so that was cool. The discussion was cool. There was a doctor that talked about, he was a plastic surgeon, but he ended up transitioning. So his thing was, again, I'm just, from what I got from it, is be willing to pivot, because he was like working for this like very esteemed plastic surgeon in LA, blah, 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 meeting all the right people. And he started doing Botox and like filler on the side. And that business got bigger than the contract he had to do surgery. for this big doctor. He was going to open a practice in New York for this doctor. Yes, I played for a long time. I even played 2 seasons of semi-pro. And that's when I realized I will never be a pro because those guys are good. What it is at the pro, because we had some people that had played professional soccer that got kicked down. We were in the finals when I played for the BMW team. Well, they had a lot of sponsors, but BMW was the main sponsor. And I remember in the finals, we were sorry. In the semi, we didn't get to the finals. In the semifinals, we faced this other team, another LA team, and 2 of their players were from Manchester City. I don't mean they lived there. I mean they played for Manchester City. Remember the dudes that got busted gambling? I mean, if you're into football, you'll know about this. There was some dudes on Manchester City that got caught gambling, whatever, and they got busted down. They got suspended from league for a year or 2. So they left England, came to LA, because why not hang out in LA? And they played on these guys' semi-pro team. Those guys beat the shit out of us. But but we did score on them, and there was a nice fight at the end of the game. One of our forwards went after one of their guys. Well, we scored, and then they went after us, and it was cool. It cleared out the benches and everything. It was badass. It was a good way to end it was a good way to lose a game, but end the season on a high note. If you can end in a big giant brawl that has to be, they have to use like tear gas and stuff, you're like, yeah, some cool stuff. Anyway, so that was it. But yeah, I just realized, I realized that if I had any dreams or thoughts about having been a pro player when I was younger, those were dashed pretty quick when I played semi-pro, and I was like, Jesus Christ, these guys are good. They're just like, here's what the worst professional in professional soccer on his worst day is better than the best you've ever been on your best day. That's just how to look at it. The best day you've ever had, the worst player in the league, period, on his worst day, maybe with an injury, is better than you. So that's humbling. Yeah, anyway. But I was good at jiu-jitsu and boxing and Thai boxing, so that's why in my mind I was like, that's fine. I'll beat those guys up, even if they can outplay me. So yeah. Is there a soccer token? Well, not with an AR, Howard. You can make it. Soccer. Okay. Let's see. You played 10 months of pro. Oh, man, that's badass. Hey, but at least you played pro. I didn't even get to the pros, man. Semi-pro might as well just be it's just a step up above club ball. Yeah, not every God. There's Maradona, right? Oh my God. Mano de Dios. Okay, so anyway, but I guess the point of all that was I thought there was a lot to be learned in that kind of thought process about branding. And I realized that a lot of these token projects and a lot of these AI companies, what's missing is proper and appropriate branding. Let's do an example. Everybody in one sentence of, if you can, 10 words or less. 10 words or less, what is Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin? See, Bitcoin doesn't have a branding problem. Everybody know what Bitcoin is. It might be slightly different to everyone, but if you look at the first page of the white paper, it's a peer-to-peer payments network. And then you start digging in. But peer-to-peer payments network. Hold on, my cat's being great. I don't want to be like the guy that always yells at his cat, like, stop, but that little mother scratcher, man. Yep. Digital gold, maybe. I think a lot of people, yeah, I mean, that's a kind of branding. I don't think it actually is, but I think that's a good way to brand it. But yeah, so I'll give you that one. Peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Yes. Well, it is also that, Don, but that's not the way people look at it. People don't look at it as the most appreciating asset. The nerds like me and you, we might recall that fact, but the dude on the street doesn't say that. The dude on the street says it's digital gold or peer-to-peer payment system, or electronic money, magic internet money. Yes, Chris, that is a valuable part of it, but that's not. Again, I'm trying to think. You pull someone off the street, what's Bitcoin? Oh, it's that digital money thing. It's kind of like you can save it and it goes up. So that would be a digital gold, peer-to-peer payment system, blockchain technology. Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to most people. Blockchain technology doesn't, like, to most people, they're like, right? But digital gold does. Digital gold, I think digital gold is right. Branding, keep it simple, simple, simple. A lot of these companies, newest, safest store of value, yeah. But Howard, again, imagine the regular Joe Schmo on the street, Joe Sixpack. What does Joe Sixpack think Bitcoin is? Digital gold, magic, internet money. Yeah. And all the things that you guys are saying are correct. It's a hedge against Byzantine actors. Yeah. Yes, it definitely is, Conan. You're right about that. What you guys are all saying is correct, but think of the branding of it. Somehow, Solana, the piece of crap that it is, run by the garbage collectors that it is, it branded itself better. Store value, that's good too. Solana branded itself better than Ethereum did, right? Ethereum been around for a while, and maybe they got lazy, and maybe they assumed that the world understood what Ethereum was. No one really gets it. So, and what would you say? Okay, so what would you say Ethereum is? I would say Ethereum is what they used to say, it's the world computer, which I always thought that was a little sloppy. I think it to me, it feels like the Web3 OS, the world's OS operating system, and people can develop projects on top of it. Other layers, crypto projects, tokens, what have you. You can build on top of this network that's already laid out for everyone to participate in. You can almost say it's like the Web3 internet, or it's a version of the Web3 internet, you know? So, but Ethereum has had a branding problem, which I'm sure they're trying to address now that BlackRock is balls deep in it. And all these other players as well, but BlackRock mostly, because they're kingmakers, and if you don't do what they say, they'll have you assassinated. So Ethereum maybe has a branding issue that they haven't solved. And then it gets worse and worse and worse from there. Some of these assets have figured out that branding is important. The only one of those that's a who brand would be Bitcoin. There are no other who's in crypto. They're all, I don't know if XRP accidentally became a who brand because of the corruption and and Brad and the other scumbags and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if in a weird way they became this sentimental play where it's like betting against the man, but you're actually betting against yourself, and you're enriching these guys, but you feel like it's okay. And it became a very weird thing. But no one really knows what XRP does, and most people don't know that there's a difference between Ripple and XRP, and it's a big convoluted mess. So branding is a problem in the crypto space. It's too vague, it's too sloppy, they paint with too wide a brush, or they give you this laundry list of shit that's unimportant that it solves. So, like Cardano. You ask anybody, what's Cardano? They're going to be like, I don't have a clue what Cardano is. What are you talking about? What about ADA? ADA what? I ate a burger earlier, but other than that, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Oh, for governance. What does that mean? Well, online voting. Okay, well, I vote online. So what? Yeah, but with blockchain-backed online voting and confidence and proof of stake. What? I told you I had a burger. I didn't even eat a steak. Shut up. So some of these are so convoluted that branding is going to be very difficult. So when you look at a lot of the assets in your portfolio, it's an interesting idea, is that since people buy what they're familiar with and they invest in what they're familiar with mostly, or what they think is going to be the next big thing, a lot of that is branding. And a lack of branding, a lack of proper marketing. That's why, remember when Polkadot kind of, a few years back, Polkadot, so when Ethereum blew up, Gavin Wood went one direction, Charles Hoskinson went one direction. These were all co-founders of Ethereum. Lubin kind of went one direction, and anyway, not one direction, the group, you get it. They all took off. And Ethereum stayed, of course. Ethereum forked to Ethereum, and the old Ethereum became Ethereum Classic. Vitalik stayed with that project. Great. Gavin Wood started Polkadot. Polkadot was so poorly marketed, so stupidly marketed, so I want to say either whimsical or lackadaisically, or just almost to the point of arrogant marketing, where they branded themselves as this weird multi thing and it was so stupid the way they kind of positioned themselves that of course everyone was like, no way, man, you guys are stupid. One, you're flippant about the way you choose Polkadot. Why? Oh, well, because it's there's all these. Shut the fuck up. Like, if you are so sloppy and so lazy and so careless in your marketing and your branding, why should we care? I mean, that's what it is, right? Marketing. You're marketing to us. You're marketing what your value proposition is. So you're telling us who and what you are, and it's our perception of who and what you are. That's your brand. Your brand isn't what you say it is. It's what we think it is based on what you say. So we knew that thing was going to shit the bed. And what has it done? It's shit every bed. If you go to Mattress Giant's warehouse, every bed in there has been shit. Bye, Polkadot. So, and there's a lot of projects like this, but not with quality DNA. Gavin Wood should be at the helm of a giant successful project because he's a genius. He created Solidity, man. The reason that we say Web3 is because he coined the term. This guy is probably I don't know how, but he parties a lot, but he's one of the most capable dudes around. Dr. Gavin Wood. He's a fucking nobody now. And his project is a nothing burger. Silvio Macaulay, MIT. Homeboy Gary Gensler also. Algorand. What's Algorand do? I don't know. What does Algorand stand for? Algorithms and RAND. Randomness? Random algorithms? Algorand? I don't know. I don't know what they do. There is no Bitcoin without Silvio Macaulay. 85% of the damn white paper is based on, some of his peer-reviewed work. Like, we wouldn't be here without Silvio. And does anybody really pay attention to Silvio? No. Algorand, it's a nothing burger. Poor branding, poor marketing, just a sloppy ass weak team. Weak. On the marketing side. Intellectually smart. That doesn't matter because that's not what we see. Charles Hoskinson is intellectually smart. That's not what we see. He's branded himself as a whiny bitch that cries all the time, that he doesn't get enough love and enough respect. Didn't invite me to the White House because you're a whiny bitch, Charles. No one wants, man, I'll tell you this right now. I would dodge that motherfucker like the plague. If he was in town, hey, you want to get together? No, I do not. I'd rather have dinner with Mario. And that's saying a lot. I would rather have a dinner with a Mario. I would order like Italian food from some cheesy Italian place. I was like, does this taste like a home? Like Italian food at home? Tafancule. And I would rather eat dinner with Mario and have Ben Gortzel's crazy ass cooking it than spend 5 minutes in a fucking room with Charles Hoskinson. I just don't think I could do it, man. I don't think I could do it. just listening to it. But unfortunately, that sucks because he's super smart. Cardano should be amazing. Poor branding. That one's also become a who, hasn't it? Yeesh. Anyway, it's like this kind of stuff's important. So I wonder, like, if we're not giving enough credit to good marketing, or if there's just a lack of marketing. Look at what do you think is the problem right now with Hypercycle? Technology is awesome. The use case, like basically the internet router of the internet of AI, the Cisco systems of AI. Awesome. Valuable? Yes. But most people don't know what Cisco Systems is either. They're like, Cisco, is that like a food company? Don't they bring ketchup? No, that's different. That's Cisco with an S. Yeah, these companies are suffering from a failure. What we have here is a failure to communicate. There's a communication problem that is rife in the crypto space and in the AI space. Okay, what is ChatGPT? Everybody knows what ChatGPT is. They branded the shit out of that product. Everyone knows, right? What is OpenAI? That's the company that launched ChatGPT, among a lot of other products, right? So you start. What is Apple? This is a tricky one. Is Apple a what, or is Apple a who? What do you guys think about that? I contend it's a who brand. There's a kind of sentimental, locked in, I'll stay with them until they fail multiple times Apple thing, where you get locked in the products and they keep you there. They're like any old piece of shit they stamp an Apple on, you'll probably buy it. And all these phones are the same. Last 5 years, same fucking thing. Nothing's changed. Oh, the image density in the camera is way better. Oh, really? I still can't take a picture of the fucking moon, and I can see it. I don't understand this. If I can see something, if I can look at something, why can't my camera take that picture? Why do I have to do 17 goddamn things to take a picture of the moon that I can look at? Why is the picture on my phone, where the cameras have way more sensitivity than these garbage ass eyes do? Which, again, these are bullshit, but whatever. They make me look esteemed and complicated. I think people like that. Why can't my camera look at this camera dots and shit? Look at all those little glass cylinders. Those things do stuff. They interpret data and do all sorts of shit that my eyes can't do, with all sorts of technology that my brain doesn't have. And I can't take a picture of the moon that I can stare at. It just looks like a bright white blob of nothing. It's old fucking nothing burger. So, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to buy a crappy other phone. I'll just buy the next crappy iPhone. Why? Sucked in, man. I'm locked in, bro. Stuck. Because it's a who brand. Let's see. Chris, how does the average person use a layer one crypto, or how would layer one be used in the future? What do they need to articulate? Well, I think that Bitcoin has articulated that it's a kind of internet money, peer-to-peer kind of money, digital gold, a digital savings account, whatever that they've kind of, that's that. And it's emotional. It's us against them, even though they're all partnering up with hedge funds and like, yeah, buy our banks and government seem to buy Bitcoin. Like, what? That's weird. That's the opposite of what. Anyway, but Bitcoin's branded. All these layer ones, their fight needs to be that if you're going to interact with the future internet, where money and AR and VR and XR are all a part of it, augmented reality, virtual reality, extended reality, in weird ways where I see something and 13 milliseconds later, I want to buy it, but maybe I want to buy a fraction of it. Maybe I have a moment in time that I want to put a serial number on and create some level of permanence to it, or uniqueness, NFT, like all that. Like, they need to brand that the way to do that, the way to interact with the future internet, the one that we live in now, that's much more intense and visceral than 20 years ago. Well, if you want to interact with that, layer ones are how you do it. They're the operating systems of this new internet, whatever that looks like. But that's not being conveyed. It's a bunch of big-headed weirdos espousing a bunch of bullshit, and people are like, I don't like these guys. I don't like these weird, big-headed nerds that are rich. That's another thing. These dudes launch these projects, they get super rich, they get super lazy. It's directly proportionate. The more money you have, the more lazy you get. Or I guess there's an inverse proportionate relationship. As money goes up, interest goes down. They're inversely correlated. Like, I'll be honest. If I was a billionaire, these shows would be about 28 minutes. Maybe. I come on. I do some big dick swinging, talk about some stuff that I bought. Just let everyone know that I've achieved it. You can too. Which, that's the same old bull crap that you hear. But because I would have too much to be motivated to do, so we're all of us humans. And then you wonder, why are these guys getting involved in all these weird scandals? Because they've done everything else 17 times. So it's time to get zooted on meth and go hit the ranch and, animal husbandry. Anyway, branding in crypto and branding in AI, in some of these, especially these AI crypto projects where it gets sloppy. Hypercycle's problem is branding. They have a branding problem. The what is not quite clear. It's hard to say it in a sentence. You can say it in 17 sentences. You can't really say it in one sentence. You should be able to. It's the router for the internet of AI. And everyone can participate. Everyone gets to be a part of the future of AI compute if they want to. Or they can watch it happen and they can play with ChatGPT on their phone and they can watch jobs give way to software and humans give way to robots. Some badass robots, by the way. For anybody that's not I put a lot of, whenever I see those videos of robots and stuff, I put those on my Instagram. And these robots are getting so good. They can do backflips, side flicks. One of them can do some badass karate stuff. I'm getting a robot for sure. You're gonna this year, sometime this year, you're gonna see a robot walking around in the background doing some shit with the cats. Robot's gonna go clean up after that son of a bitch. Robot. I'll be like, robot. I won't call him robot. I'll call him Robot 1, because I might have more of them. Robot 1. Yes. Go clean up after Kitty. Yes. And he'll go play with the cat and clean up stuff. You'll see robot in the background. That's coming. Anyway, I always put those on. I guess, yeah, they're pretty cool. It really makes you think we are much closer to a world dominated by robots and software than people realize. I think people are lazy. They're asleep at the wheel, man. I think people are going to get just obsoleted quick as hell. Anyway, the branding discussion is important because I think all of you should look at your portfolios today. Go through, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but go through your portfolios, look at what you own, and ask yourself, have these guys figured out branding or not? What actually is this product or project in one sentence? And if you can't get that one sentence, then the message is too sloppy. Now that either is, it's their fault. It's your fault if you own it. It shouldn't be in your portfolio if you don't know what it is. But it's their fault for not communicating what they do, who they are and what they do. Are you a who brand or a what? And I think that's I think that's Hypercycle's problem. It's not the technology. I think that was SingularityNet's problem. But what happened is, instead of pursuing better branding and better messaging and better communication, a couple of scummy accountants got on board and said, hey, we can rape and pillage and we can just put money in our back pockets. And they probably said in secret, there's nothing we're gonna do that's gonna usher in AGI. We're too small. It's an unrealistic outcome. I would say anybody out of high school can look at what the reality of the world right now and realize that a little company cannot compete. They just can't compete. A little not well-funded company, and let's see, you start digging into who the executives and stuff, it ain't pretty. You do not see any quality executive DNA in that whole mess. None. Not one. Not one. Nobody. There isn't a fucking person there that has ever done anything of merit or value. Nothing. And that's troubling, right? Like, that's bad. So there's no adults in the room. It's just a bunch of bullshitters that want to line their pockets because they got early tokens. That's not the way to AGI. That's not how you compete with, multi-billion or 100 billion or trillion-dollar companies. Now, is it? So, but yeah, I want you to look at your portfolios. I want you to think about, is there a lack of branding? Is it poorly branded? And is it a who or a what? Why do I like this project and why do I own it? You really need to start asking yourselves these questions. I get a lot of emails where people are like, hey, do you think this might happen? Shit, man, anything might happen. Everything is just a list of probabilities. And some things are more probable than others, but it's a big, vast spectrum. And there's a lot of ways to do it wrong. And then there's ways where you have no control over it going right. There's no reason, none, that Solana should have the success it has. It is a terrible protocol managed by really scummy individuals, just like borderline crooks. Crooks. They're crooks. Just not the kind of go to jail kind of crooks. They're just the kind of, we'll just put $2 billion worth of tokens in our back pocket kind of crooks. We will lie to CoinMarketCap about our market cap crooks. We were pushed by the same scumbag VCs that built up FTX and fucked the whole planet kind of crooks. Those kind of crooks. To me, I almost respect Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson more. They just straight up stole. They were just like, we're going to make this token, fuck everyone else, and we're going to sell it on the market as fast as we can, line our fucking pockets. And fuck you. At least they're kind of honest about it. They didn't even say no. They're like, did you guys sell at a discount underneath the market? Yes. Did you have lockups? No lockups. Why? To line our pockets, motherfucker. You know what? I like that better than what the scumbags at Solana did. But the scumbags at Solana didn't get knocked by the SEC. If Gary Gensler was still here, they would have, because they were on the chopping block. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that probably gets buried in this transition to the Trump administration, all that. There's a handful of bad guys that got away. Let's just say that. There's a handful of legitimate bad guys that got away. Did you guys hear? Let's switch a little bit. Interesting. So we'll talk grayscale for a second. We'll talk about Trump tariffs, and that was the reason why the market went down yesterday. Trump tariffs. The market didn't go down very far. Like, you look at the market, not much happened. Let's go see. Say, the markets are, they say, plummeting. Does any of that look like plummeting? Up a basis point? It's plummeting. Okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what a plummet is, I guess. Maybe plummet hasn't branded itself correctly. These guys are so fatalistic. They're so like, everything's so big and good, but plummeting. Oh man, Ethereum's plummeting. It's down 54 basis points. It's down 0.5%. Plummeting. XRP in the toilet, down 3%. Like, come on, what? Sui having a good day. You say, what? Oh no, not Siri. Sui, stop. Stop. I gotta put a little thing. Okay. Let's talk SUI really quick. It's kind of interesting. Grayscale says that this altcoin is best positioned to take market share away from Ethereum. Now, that's a little bit of sloppy talk, because if someone buys 10 SUI and spends $30, I guess technically they took market share away from Ethereum, kind of. But anyway, this is what Grayscale is saying. And remember, this is the same dummies that hemorrhaged billions and billions and tens of billions from their fund when they converted their trust to an ETF for Bitcoin, because they were too fucking stupid to realize that you can't charge high fees or everyone will leave. And guess what? They all left. And now 90% of Grayscale's clients are participating with another ETF provider, either Fidelity or ARC, but most likely IBIT through Grayscale. Through BlackRock. So this is the same Grayscale that it shit the biggest bet on the planet as far as crypto goes, because it was only Grayscale. The trust was the way you invested in Bitcoin. If you couldn't get direct exposure, that was it. They converted. They were the biggest firm pushing for a conversion to an ETF. Great, they got it, and then they stuck it to all their clients with stupid, ridiculous fees, and they left. Everyone left. So this is that Grayscale. Keep that in the back of your mind. Anyway, former digital asset management giant. I'd say former giant. They're not a giant anymore. They have a lot of stuff, but they're not a giant. Anyway, Grayscale says one layer one blockchain is the best positioned out of any potential to steal market share away from Ethereum, the biggest smart contract platform by market cap. In a new report from Grayscale Research, right? I bet there's some brain mints over there. Anyway, their research report states that SUI provides one of the highest throughput and lowest transaction costs of any single layer network without relying on additional scaling layers as Ethereum does. You know what they forget to mention is security and transaction permanence. It's kind of like, I was explaining to this to somebody last night. Crypto is a tricycle that you can go really, really fast, you can go really, really cheap, or you can be really, really secure and safe. There's only 100% to give. You can't do all three at 100%. You can only do 33 and a third, 33 and a third, 33 and third, 33, 33, remainder infinity. If you go 100% speed, there's nothing left for anything else. If you go 100% cheap, there's nothing left for anything else. So again, and this is a network, by the way, that has already had a mainnet problem. They already shut down once. For those of you who don't know, SUI came from, it's part of the Move. It's on the Move blockchain powers it. This was part of the DM stablecoin project that was originally kind of, it emanated from Facebook, then Meta, and it failed. It failed because of a bunch of politics and stuff like that. But anyway, the DM stablecoin never happened because the whole world was like, no way, we're not going to let Facebook become a bank. Like, okay, great. Well, you're going to let Twitter become a bank. So I guess joke's on you. But anyway, so Mo Sheikh and some of those other guys left that, started this. This is their, although he's gone now. Anyway, so that's what this is. Grayscale notes that SUI represents only 0.3% of smart contract platforms. 0.3%, 1/3%, by market cap. According to the firm, its smart contract platform's crypto sector index includes crypto assets that serve as baseline platforms upon which self-executing contracts are developed and deployed. That's another good definition that no one would ever remember, though, for layer ones, right? Baseline platforms upon which self-executing contracts are developed and deployed. Cool, not a bad description. Okay, maybe they're working on their branding. They're quoted as saying, although competition within the smart contract platform crypto sector is likely to remain intense, Grayscale Research believes SUI is currently the best positioned third-generation blockchain to capture share from the market leader Ethereum over time. Woo woo. Okay. Yeah. Right now, Sui's doing okay. It's not in the tank. It's not in the taint. 270. It ain't the 535 it was a couple months ago, though, is it? Now. Mm-mm. But on the other side of it, that was the Trump pump. The Trump pump gone. And what we're left with is the aftermath. If you're watching Sui, also watch Aptos. Because Aptos is also another layer one smart contract enabled platform that based upon which self-executing smart contracts are developed and deployed. Yes. Woo. And also it is, from what I've read, a little bit more technically sound, although it's not quite as sexy. So, yeah. Anyway, that's Grayscale. Apparently Grayscale's going balls deep into Sui. All right. Cool. Sui's $2. You look at the market cap of a project like that, you're just like, well, it's at $8 billion. Should Sui surpass Cardano? Well, would you buy Sui right now, or would you buy Cardano if you were an investor? Do you think Cardano is more likely to hit $1.40 before Sui gets back to its previous highs of 535? I mean, I'm not sure there's a future where Cardano ever hits $1.40. I would hope that it would, but I'm not so sure. I am more sure of a future where Sui hits $5 or $6 or $17 to me. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. So, yeah. Okay. Sui, if you could, okay, Steven, you can set up an account on Bitroot. You can set up an account. Oh, also, shit, you don't even need to do that. There are Sui wallets. There are wallets. Matter of fact, I think Sui is enabled in Phantom Wallet, if I'm not mistaken. And you certainly can get a Phantom Wallet. And you certainly can transfer Solana from your Coinbase account or Kraken into your Phantom Wallet. And you certainly can probably swap in. Also, you can use the bridge, and you could swap from wherever across the bridge, whatever asset, into Sui, and use the Phantom Wallet as where the token would be exported to. So, yeah. So, don't forget DeBridge and don't forget Phantom. But DeBridge probably might be, you could push things to MetaMask and go from MetaMask across the bridge into your Phantom Wallet. Know what I'm saying? Okay, nice. Yeah, so Frank's done that. Good work. Okay, so bam. So we know it works because Frank's done it. Good work. Good work, Frank. All right. If marketing is Hypercycle's Achilles heel, what are they, Tufi, doing to change this perception? Well, part of the use of funds of what they're doing, they're raising money right now. Part of that is to hire a professional marketing team. I actually recommended the woman that was speaking last night. I was like, why don't you guys talk to her company? That's what they do. If it was good enough she also rebranded Netflix. I mean, they rebranded Netflix and they rebranded Facebook into Meta. So they probably know what they're doing. Whether by hook or crook, they know what they're doing. So anyway, I've made these recommendations. No one ever listens. Here's when people listen to me. They go, shit, Nick, you were right. You and Brandon were right about that thing that you said 2 years ago. Yeah, I know. No, I know we were. Because we're looking at this shit show dumpster fire 3-cent fucking token. We know. You don't have to tell us. We know. But thanks for the fucking 2-year delayed gratification kudos. We needed that. No, what we needed is you guys listen 2 years ago and not run it off a fucking cliff is what we needed. So anyway, but that's how it works. People tell us we're right 2 years later. Oh, you're right about Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, no shit. You're right about Do Kwon. Yep. You're right about UST. Yeah, I know. You're right about 3 Arrows. Yep. You're right about Alex Mashinsky. Yeah, I know. The only one I don't want to, you were right about CZ. Yep. You were right about crypto.com. Yeah, I know. The only one I don't want to be right about is Justin Sun. I know he's such a crook, but I kind of like Justin Sun. I don't know why he's growing on me. He's just like he's a copy and paste, Xeroxy, kind of creepy, douchey kind of guy that would probably be a lot of fun to hang out with. Justin Sun has grown on me. He's the only one. I don't want you to go to jail, Justin. Whatever you're doing, because he was like wanted in so many investigations for corruption and price fixing and whatever. Just let him off the naughty list. I mean, I still think he's dirty, but I want him. I want to be wrong about Justin Sun. How about that? That's what I'll say. I want to be wrong about him, and I'll take it. I'll be like, you know what? I was wrong. He's a great guy. Yeah, that's the banana guy. Well, on the other side of it, the token price doesn't matter. It never has. The only thing it matters to is people that were speculating on the price of the token, but that's never been where the money was in Hypercycle. The money in Hypercycle is having node licenses and having someone operate them and collecting revenue for that. That's all we give a shit about. No, I mean, it just doesn't matter. It's the price of the token has nothing to do with what you get paid. When those things are moving compute tasks around and handling workloads, AI workloads, the cost of the token is it's immaterial. It's not even insignificant. It's completely uncorrelated. So it just doesn't matter. But yeah, it's the psychology of it. It's like looking at it like, oh man, the money I spent is less or what? It doesn't matter. Is there timeline to when Hypercycle Compute might have a chance to begin? Well, Hypercycle Compute is running, but again, it's running in a bunch of test environments or siloed environments where they can test and make sure things scale, because they have to scale up nodes and scale them back down, and there's a lot of testing that has to be done before they let loose this project on a grand scale. And then some people are happy, some people are sad, some people are making $2 a month, some people are making $2,000 a month. People are panicking. What app should I run? What algorithm, what algorithm should I have on my thing? Do I need this? Do I need that? So they're trying to make that experience more elegant. And they're also going to do some rebranding and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, or branding. They haven't rebrand. They haven't branded. So it's be branding first time, because they haven't done that. No, you're again. I don't know how to explain this in a way that you guys will understand, because I've tried so many times. You guys know that there's not just one person working at Hypercycle, right? There's about 65 fucking developers. You guys know that? It's not two dudes in a room, right? There are tons of different teams, some of them running in parallel, some of them doing redundant research, some of them there's tons. We have a team. Brandon and I have a team of developers that is thick of people working all the time, like 60 hours a week, developers. We spend, doesn't matter, a lot. And that's working on our part of base. That is one tiny aspect of what they're doing. So that would just be a very narrow assumption of how things work at a software company, I guess. You need people to code, and they have a lot of them. It's not just, and they're not all just doing one thing. There's 17 different things that these teams are all kind of focused on different areas. So anyway, you need to widen your perspective. It ain't nothing I do. I don't do shit. But Brandon and his developer guys do a lot. You know what I do? I drink coffee. I play with these cats. I read articles like this next one. GM Stellantis. The crypto markets plummeting. They're plummeting. You can look at the plummet. We're plummeting. Look at this plummet. Because Donald Trump said yesterday he would place 25% tariffs on, and I quote, all cars that are not made in the United States. Well, that's a lot of cars. And it's a lot of good cars, too, because most of the stuff made in the United States is kind of garbagey, kind of crap. I know on the exotic and luxury side, it's terrible. So the tariffs apply to imported passenger vehicles, light trucks, as well as key automobile parts, including engines and transmissions. And this is part of the fact sheet that was released yesterday by the White House. Vehicles are made of tens of thousands of parts, many of which cross back and forth over the U.S. border before a final product is completed. So everybody is digesting this. 25%, all cars that are not made in the United States. Yeah. So General Motors stock was down like 8% this morning. Stellantis lost 3%. Ford was down 3%. Ford shouldn't even exist. They should be out of business. Tesla were up 5%. Why? Made in the USA, baby. In our coverage, this is what one of the analysts was saying. Tesla and Ford appear to be the most shielded given the location of vehicle assembly facilities, although Ford does face incremental exposure on imported engines. Yeah, GM has the most exposure to Mexico. They're going to take it right in the pants. Trump said Wednesday that he would not put a tariff on vehicles that are built in the United States. Tariffs apply to imported passenger vehicles, light trucks, key automobile parts, engines, transmissions, yada, yada. Some aspects of the tariff, of this kind of tariff scheme, are still getting worked out. Auto parts that are compliant with the U.S., Mexico, Canada agreement are tariff-free until the Commerce Secretary can consult with the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol or Border Protection to figure out how do you apply tariffs to non-U.S. content. So it isn't that tariffs won't happen, it's that they don't know how they're going to roll out. So, yeah, the United Auto Workers Union cheered Trump's announcement. These tariffs are a major step in the right direction. See, not everybody's mad. For auto workers and blue-collar communities across the country, and it is now on the automakers from the big three to Volkswagen and beyond to bring back good union jobs to the U.S. I think what these guys fail to realize is that those jobs are going to go to robots. They got robots that do karate, bro. Like, you've seen Karate Robot. If I could have Karate Robot building cars and no humans and no people getting sick and pregnant and all the, whatever it is, oh, they're going to get rid of human jobs. Yeah, no shit. No shit. As they should. It's creative destruction. Anyway, so I think he may be glasses half full looking at this, but whatever. Anyway, data and forecasting from S&P Global Mobility reports that there are an average of 20,000 parts in a vehicle when it's torn down to its nut and bolts. Primarily, parts may originate anywhere from 50 to 120 countries. The firm reports that 25 automakers on average produce 63,900 light-duty passenger vehicles in North America per day. A majority of those, roughly 65%, are assembled in the U.S., followed by 27% in Mexico, 8% in Canada. Yeah, so that's good. Goldman Sachs analysts wrote Thursday that Trump's 25% tariff could raise the price of imported cars by between $5,000 to $15,000 a piece if roughly half of the parts in a U.S.-made car come from foreign sources. Remember, the tariff would raise the price of even U.S. cars from $3,000 to $8,000. So think about that for a second. $3,000 to $8,000 on cars that are here, assembled from parts from out there. Trump had previously granted automakers a 1-month tariff exemption for vehicles that comply with the U.S., Mexico, Canada trade agreement, the trade rules. So until that gets solved, at least there's a 1-month reprieve. So does this create some demand, some kind of pull forward in demand where people all of a sudden go buy cars because they're worried about the price going up? Yeah, if we weren't in a fucking recession, maybe, but we are, ergo, so most people are going to get stuck. I'm on the good side of that. We had one of our cars blew up, one of our Uruses, Lamborghinis. Well, blew up. Someone wrapped it around, fucking whatever people wrap Uruses around. They blew it up. Anyway, it's getting covered finally after fighting for like 7 months. Of course, we used ChatGPT for all of our legal battles with the insurance company, and we won. Surprise, surprise. But State Farm admitted that they took responsibility. It's now getting they're having somebody come out and figure out what the value of the vehicle is. Well, the car blew up. It was brand new. Matter of fact, for those of you that came last March, we had our investor kind of meet here in LA, where everybody came and spent a couple days hanging out, and we did a lot of cool stuff. They saw it. It was the brand new red with carbon fiber accent all over it, that beefy Lamborghini Urus. That one got blown up. So anyway, well, that one at the time was about $380K. They don't make that car anymore. So you have to go to the closest comparables, and they're going for like 50, 60, 70, 80K over sticker. Because again, they don't make that V10 anymore. Now it's all V8 hybrid, all this SE bullshit. That one right there is probably 400, 450K now. And the sticker was probably $265, and then you throw tax on top of that, so you're probably at, right around 300. That 300 became 400, 425. Why? Because all this counts. All this matters. They're not going to have it settled by Tuesday, are they? No. So, yeah. When will we have another get together? Who knows? We were planning on doing one in Playa del Carmen. Fly into Cancun and then go to Playa. There's a really nice resort there that's very safe, all inclusive, and all that. We thought that'd be a cool place to do it. So maybe we'll do that. But for that, we got to wait for the market to turn so people have money to buy tickets and drive their now more expensive cars to the airport, or drive their robot Uber taxi to the airport. Oh, it won't be Uber though, will it? It'll probably be Tesla, because I don't think Uber will be in business. Anyway, so there's that. So that, that's kind of the news. The only other thing, I guess I would say, I guess the main point of today is go look at your portfolios and let's think about branding. Think about the projects where you can explain in one sentence what it does, and the ones that you can't. And then look at the performance. Because when things get murky, if they're murky and not simple, people give up on them. Doge, it's a meme coin. Okay, whatever. Cardano, it's a smart contract platform and does some governance-y shit. I don't know what it does. No one knows what it does. It claims to do a lot of stuff, doesn't do it. What does XRP do? It's good for banks. Why? Well, no one can quite explain that, and no one that's tested it actually uses it. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's not weird. It's just it's a worthless thing. XMR, privacy token. That's easy. What is it? It's a privacy token. Cool. You can send transactions privately. Okay, I get it. I don't know if I want to own it, but I get it. Uniswap. It's the network token of the Uniswap, the swap platform, and we're not really sure what it does. Okay, cool. Well, I don't know. Aptos, kind of like Sui, Move blockchain. It's a layer one. It's a third generation layer one, they're calling it, based on the Move blockchain, based on a failed project at Facebook. Okay, I think Ondo, on-chain treasuries and shit like that. Is it important? I don't know. Is it that interesting? I don't think so. Does anyone care about it? Not really. But is it spewing its way around the interwebs? Yes. So would dummies like it? Yeah. Can they explain it? No, they can't. B-Chain, kind of a layer one, kind of logistics, kind of hasn't ever gone anywhere. Yeah, shit. China, Filecoin, data. encryption, protection, distribution, redundancy. Makes sense. It's easy. Still surprised it's as low as it is, but yes, makes sense. Okay. Cosmos, second iteration, layer 1 that works really good, but no one really uses it and no one really cares. Yep, that's what that is. Algorand. It's that one dude at MIT that's really smart, and but Algorand is like a layer 1, but it's not money, and it's cheap to use, but it's not that useful. Yeah, that one. Yep, got it. Optimism. Probably the only reason layer 2 scaling actually works for Ethereum. Optimism. If it's not Optimism, it's probably built on the op stack. Okay, makes sense. Fetch. No fucking clue. No one knows. No one knows what they do. It's a hodgepodge of bullshitty companies all slapped together like some little child's paint, a second grader's painting project on a holiday Friday when they're all jazzed up on sugar and sweets and bullshit. And it's run by a couple of smart people and then and like 18 crooks. Well, they're not crooks. They're just greedy, scummy, douchey kind of business failures that want to put money in their pocket. Got it. Graph token. Indexing. Crucial and vital to Ethereum as far as like making life easier. A lot of people use it. No one really wants to own it. Why? It's still hard to brand that one. It's not clear. You kind of just want to brand it as a vital piece of the Ethereum ecosystem that people need to use. I don't know if people realize how valuable Graph is, but it is, but no one cares. Jupiter, the DAO, indirect exposure to the activity, to the excitement, to the rigmarole of Solana and meme coins and all that bullshit, but with a more competent management team and they're a group that's very open to hearing what the community has to say because it's the only really functioning DAO. That's a lot, though. So their branding needs to get tighter. Matic, layer 2 that used to be cool, and then everyone realized most of their partnerships were fake and bullcrappy. Zcash, privacy token, makes sense. Is it ever going to $2,000 again? No, there's no universe. It's $38. Can you imagine if you bought Zcash at the top? So any of you that think you're having a bad day, you didn't buy Zcash at the top, did you? No, you didn't. And what about all the people that bought it down? Oh shit, it was 2,200. Now it's only 1,000. It's twice the deal. I'm going to buy some more. Oh, don't Dunning-Kruger that thing. Good. Don't throw good money after bad. Say, Pith, spammy, bullshitty, Twitter, whatever. Arweave, distributed data, kind of. It's a data play. And a bunch of really smart people, but still, they haven't squared away their branding. Sia Coin, it's a data play. It's a cheesy version of Storj, which was a half-ass attempt to be kind of like Filecoin, and it's cool, but again, it's probably not an investment. These things are not investments. Harmony One, Harmony One is the layer 2, which I always thought that was weird. Harmony One, a layer 2. Yeah, it's a layer 2. Is it going anywhere? I don't know. Is it going to 37 cents? Absolutely not. Ever. That's over with. That shit's over with. But could be a nickel, could be 6 or 7 cents in a bull run. You never know. And they could do something, but poor branding. JLP. JLP is kind of an unknown asset. Most people don't have any clue what you're talking about, but it's a nice proxy asset, and it's an index. Basically, it's an index fund. 2 stable coins, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana. And so you can take part when the market's going up. When the market's going down, you're getting fees from all the transactions in and around the asset, people moving in and out of those assets. Therefore, it stabilizes the downside and also mitigates some of the upside. So I think it's a nice way to have exposure to those assets without having direct exposure. And I don't like I won't own Solana other than just to fuel my Phantom wallet. So for me, that's fine. Okay, the Bridge swap platform. That's their token for the Bridge swap platform, which is great. It's awesome. The DApp works great. I love it. It's cool. GMRT, the gamer tag. Well, they haven't officially launched, but they're going to start talking about their launch. Well, they launched the token, but they haven't launched the actual mainnet, their mainnet, which would require use of the token. That happens. Looks like that happens the end of April. I don't know for sure, but we think, and they'll start talking about that and promoting that coming next week. Hypercycle. If you want to participate in the Internet of AI, this is the way to do it. It's like the Cisco systems or the router for the Internet of AI, and it allows individuals like you and I to participate. You get some coins, you get a license, you merge them together, you now have a little data center. That data center can process AI transactions, and you can get paid for it. Yay! And Twin. Well, this is an easy one, but they haven't done shit. Digital twins. Digital twins are cool. You can have a digital twin, a representation of yourself. We're building one for, there's going to be one for Node Market. Node Market will have a twin that you can talk to when you have a question. Hey, I want to do this. I want to sell this. What happens? It will communicate with you in real time. It's dope. So yeah, let's see. And Howard says, Ondo has a new stable coin, pays yield. It's extremely interesting. USDY. Yeah. I don't know anything about their USDY and what yield it pays, but if it's anything over Fed funds, then that would send out huge red alerts. If you have a stable coin that pays more than Fed funds, and it can't even pay that, because how do they make money as the issuer? How does the issuer make money? They're not doing it for free. So I would just be very, USDY sounds a lot like USDT, sounds a lot like UST, sounds a lot like everybody spins up a stable coin and promises these ridiculous returns, and they're impossible to, it's a Ponzi scheme. I don't think Ondo is a Ponzi scheme. I don't know it well enough. I doubt it. But I'm saying those stable coins, there's nothing stable about those stable coins unless there's dollars or dollar equivalents, and that's short-term on-the-run treasuries. So you can't pay more than what short-term on-the-run treasuries pay. You can't even pay that, because then they don't have enough money to manage the asset. And short-term on-the-run treasuries ain't making no one rich. So, whew. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's call it a day. Let's just see if the markets are still plummeting. The big plummet. Plummeting. Up a third of a point. We're plummeting, everyone. If it's directly connected to Treasury, then why would you do it? You're just buying treasuries? If you're just buying treasuries, buy treasuries. Purchase them. Don't make no damn sense. Anyway, yeah, I get what they're trying to do. It's backed by short-term treasuries and cash equivalent deposits with regulated. Okay, but then I don't know if you guys understand this. A digital piece of pizza is not the same as pizza. I can eat a slice of fucking pizza. Yum, yum, yum. So what? If it's the same as this thing, then just do the thing. Like, I don't know. This is a Xerox of a Xerox. Okay, cool. It looks like the same shit. Yeah. Okay, well then why do I want it? I don't know, but it's the same shit. I don't want the same shit. I already have that. I don't need a copy of the thing that I already have. I need something better. Anyway, great. So it's a copy of a copy of a copy. No one cares. All right. Anyway, well, I hope some investors care and they pump the price up so that those of you that are holding it can get out with some reasonable exit. But as far as the reality of, like, we're digitizing the treasury market, they've been doing that shit for years, man. That already JP Morgan's they clear $2 billion plus a day in repo. $2 billion a day clear repo, settling repo transactions on their own kind of their own blockchain, which is of course based on Ethereum. Yeah. But anyway, all right, let's call it a day. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do the thing my poor insolvent drunk strung out on meth grandmother or Brandon wouldn't do. It's going to be kind of cold here today. 68. Ooh, chilly. Anyway, if the sun would come out, then the 68 would feel like 78. Anyway, we'll see. We will see you on the morrow.